everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. The subtopic given to me, my name is DCI Isa Ibrahim Zaik, as already introduced by our able registrar. The subtopic given to me is ink, paper, and alteration detection. Introduction. Ink, paper, and alteration detection play crucial roles in the examination of documents, including security and identity documents. The security ink, paper, or other substrates give relevant hints to alteration detection and counterfeiting. You know, ink is very important and it aids in alteration detection because different inks are being used and inks have different physical and chemical components. So there are inks in which, if tampered with, it will what? It will bleach or smear on the paper. So from there, you'll be able to what? Identify that an alteration has been made here. Also paper, particularly the security paper. The security paper is a high quality paper containing security features such as security fibers, watermark, planchets, security thread, and so on. So these help the forensic examiner to detect an alteration at first line of document examination. What is first line of document examination is when you are given a document, you first of all use your naked eye to examine it. That is what we call the first line of document examination. So ink, if a document has been tampered with or there's an alteration, by examining it with your naked eye at the first level, you'll be able to detect a signs of alteration even before using any verified tools or a forensic laboratory equipment. Then ink. Ink is a substance, either liquid or paste, composed of pigments used for writing or printing, among other functions. Inks are what? Anti-counterfeiting. Why is ink an anti-counterfeiting? Because of these physical and chemical properties. When you tamper with them, then the alteration will be visible to the forensic examiner, even with some with the naked eye, some with verified or laboratory equipment. Types of ink. These include the following. We have 1, metameric ink. Metameric ink is a very special ink in security printing. It is a pair of identical ink, but with different chemical properties. When you observe it using the normal environmental light, you will look at them as if they are the same. Hope you can hear me. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you,
Yes,
sir.
Okay.
so we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, ma. So I said types of ink. These include the following. 1, metameric ink. Metameric ink is an ink that is done in 2 or in a pair, looking identical, but with different chemical properties. It will look identical under the normal light, that is our normal environmental light. But when you expose it to the ultraviolet light, it will change color. So that is why ink is what? An anti-counterfeiting. So even if a forger should forge it, he will not be able to get the perfect register So as such, it can be detected either using the naked eye or using the forensic tools. The second one is thermochromic ink. This is an ink that is what? Sensitive to temperature. It responds to temperature. So change in temperature can make the color to change. Or if it is exposed to heat, the color can change. Then the third one, because of time, I will be fast. The third one is photochromic ink. As the name implies, photo means light. So chromic, that is color. Photochromic ink is that it changes color when it is exposed to light. That is photochromic ink. The fourth one is optical variable ink. Optical variable ink, which we call OVI as an acronym, is the type of ink which changes color when the angle of light changes. If you tilt it this way, the color will change. You tilt it the other way, the color will change again, continuously like that. So we call it optical variable ink. So it changes with the angle of view. The fifth one is magnetic ink. This is the type of ink that contains ferromagnetic properties, like iron oxide. The banks use this ink very well for their both checks and other financial documents in the bank. If you have gone to the bank to clear a check, you observe that your check will be slotted into a mica reader, that is magnetic ink character recognition reader, that is a mica scanner, and you hear one sound, croop. So that sound you hear is as a result of response to the magnetic ink on your check or other financial forms used by the bank. So we call it mica reader. Mica is an acronym with MICR, that is magnetic ink character recognition. So magnetic ink is very important and it is used in the bank and other financial institutions. 6, we have ultraviolet, that is UV reactive ink. This ink, under normal light, you may not be able to see anything under normal light. But when you expose it to UV light at 365 nanometer, you'll be able to see changes in the ink. All these are ways of safeguarding a document, particularly the security and identity document. The seventh one is fugitive ink. Fugitive ink is also an important ink in which when you tamper with it using a chemical or any solvent, it will It will bleach immediately. It will smear the paper. So from there, the counterfeiter will be confused and there's no how he can rectify that bleaching because it has damaged that paper. So when this paper is presented, the forensic examiner will be able to detect the alteration or tampering done to that document. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, yes.
I hope you, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Loud and
Then the
clear,
next, okay, the next is ink analysis. We have different ways of analyzing the ink. So I just brought few here. The first one is microscopic ink analysis, where you use your microscope to detect the ink pressure so that you'll be able to identify alteration. The second one is spectral ink analysis using spectrometric or spectral filter in which you'll be able to identify.
Hello, sir. Please come again, sir.
Okay. I said we have ink analysis. We have different ways of analyzing ink. The first one, I said microscopic ink analysis. That is using a microscope. Using a microscope. You know, when one changes the figure on a document, the pressure will be the same from, or the pressure will be different from the original figure. So when you use a microscope to examine the pen pressure, you observe a difference or even differences between them. That is microscopic ink analysis. Then we have spectral ink analysis. This spectral ink analysis, you can use spectral filters of light to look at the color response of the ink. If an alteration has been made, you'll be able to see that the response of one color on that figure is different from the original one. Then the third one is ink chromatographic analysis. That is, you use ink chromatography or paper chromatography, in which you see the different components of the ink will come out, and you'll be able to compare to see the original ink used for the writing and the one used in altering the writing. Then we have the fourth one, which is electrostatic ink analysis. When someone writes on a paper, the paper underneath it will have traces of the pressure used in this writing. So the paper underneath can be analyzed to get exact note that has been written on that paper. So if that note has been changed and the one underneath was gotten and analyzed, then you'll be able to get the original information on that paper. So this is done using the electrostatic dictation apparatus, which is ESDA, or you call it electrostatic dictation device. So we also have some other means like the mica I've mentioned. You can use the magnetic ink, then the mica magnetic ink character recognition to identify any printing done with magnetic ink. When you scan it, you feel the response or hear the sound of the response of the magnetic ink used in printing it. Then the next one is paper itself. Paper, this is a material manufactured from cellulose fibers. We manufacture paper from cellulose fiber through pulping process and formed into sheets. Types of paper. One, we have commercial paper. Commercial paper is the normal paper we know, like our plain sheets, our exercise books, and so on. These are commercial papers. Then we have two, security paper. Security paper is a paper which contains security features, like your international passport. That is not a commercial paper, it is a security paper. Your university certificates, I'm talking of those from the 90s to date, when the security printing on certificates started. So if you check those certificates and even the WAEC certificates from the 90s till date, you will observe that we have some security features such as watermark and some security fibers in them. Then we have the third one, which is recycled genuine paper. What the counterfeiters do is that they will look for old security papers like expired passports and so on. Then they will now recycle the pages. And when you see them, you think it is a genuine security paper, but it has been what? Counterfeited. So we should be very careful with this during our examination. We call it recycled genuine papers. You see that they will be having the reaction of UV dull substrate. But while in essence, they are not genuine security papers, but recycled ones. The next one is alteration detection. This is the process of identifying or covering erasures and changes done to the original existing information. That is, you identify what has been altered or uncover what has been changed from the original text or information. The essence of alteration detection through ink analysis and examination is to safeguard against fraud and maintain the integrity of documents. Alteration detection is very important because when you detect alteration, it will help to safeguard documents and maintain the integrity of documents. Alterations, if not detected, could cause including huge financial loss. For example, if that document that has been altered is a financial instrument or a financial document, then if it is not detected, that fraudster can use it to go and withdraw money or use it for a financial transaction, and which will lead to financial loss. Identity fraud. Someone can alter a document, then use it to go and claim the identity of another person, which could be dangerous too. So if alteration is not detected, it will cause what? Identity fraud and contrary legal outcomes. If an alteration is not detected, then the legal practitioner or judge might what? Judge in favor of the wrongdoer or in favor of the criminal because the alteration has not been detected. So that is why detecting alteration in a document is very important. Alteration detection contributes to enhancing national security. If altered documents are not detected, then it is a threat to national security because people can use other people's documents to cross the international boundary to other countries and commit crimes. Forensic experts use both verified tools and dedicated forensic laboratory equipment to detect alterations and counter document fraud. Means of alteration. There are two major means of alteration. The first one is the physical or mechanical means. People can use an eraser to erase a writing, then change it to what will make them gain personally. For so that's razor blade to scrape counter one on top. Physical means of there are chemicals, writings, or printed materials so that they can what? Print or write new ones or change it to what suits them. So these chemical solvents are used to what? to cause alteration. The next one is forensic tools / equipment. This includes, that is, we have forensic tools and equipment that can be used to detect alteration. This includes magnifier. Some alterations could not be seen with the naked eye. So you use a magnifier to magnify it so that you'll be able to see it very well. Loop. Loop is like a magnifier, but it is round and can be used for close observation of a document so that you'll be able to detect alteration. The ultraviolet and infrared lights. These expose alterations too because of the type of ink used on such paper. Because some papers are UV reactive, some inks are UV reactive. So when you expose them to UV, it will what? It will show any alteration. Then IR, some are IR, that is infrared light reactive. When you expose the document to infrared light, it will reveal the alteration. Then we have microscope. We have video spectral comparator, which has different light bands that you can use to filter your document in order to see or to detect any alteration. Then we have the electrostatic detection apparatus, which we use for handwriting impression or indented writings, to detect indented writings. Then we have methods of alteration detection. 1, first line examination. When you are given a document, the first thing you do is to use your naked eye to observe the document. Look at the document, all parts of the document, front and back, the edges, the smoothness, with your naked eyes. If you're unable to detect any alteration, then you go to the second one, which is second line examination. That is, you use the magnifying glass or loop or the ultraviolet light or infrared light to detect it. If you're unable to detect it at this level, then you go to the third line of examination. You call it third line of examination or third level of examination. This is when you use those dedicated laboratory equipments, that is the forensic laboratory equipments, such as the video spectral comparator, the electron microscope, and so on, to detect the alteration. Then if you're unable, then all you are in doubt of such alteration, the fourth is source of that document, either the manufacturer or the producer of such document, or those who personalize the document. You can consult them, write to them that you're examining this document and you've seen this alteration. You don't know whether it is from the source of the document. So from there, they will be able to confirm to you whether it was a production error or it was as a result of a counterfeiter's action or a fraudster's action. Conclusion, because of time. Document alteration is a serious issue that affects legal, financial, and personal matters. Forensic document and handwriting experts play a vital role in detecting alterations using forensic tools and equipment. Thank you for listening.